Apologies, but sometimes I prefer to say a point rather than to type it, so I'd like to do that if that's okay. Firstly, thank you for taking the time to respond to me. I'm sure you're probably a far busier woman than I. But I think the thing is that, so when I look at it, you can see the metrics of outcomes for people who have very high IQs can sometimes be similar to those who have very low IQs. A bit of a mu dip in how that works. But what I was noticing was for me it's a badge of honour to have a cognitive ability of that level. And certainly I find similarities within the communities whenever I go out and to socials and such. I always notice that there is a very similar, I'm on the same wavelength as the people that I'm meeting, and that's brilliant. But my thought was if the disadvantages of having a high IQ were kind of like thrown out there more, certainly it would, you find that anecdotally people have had the same problems and they've come up against the same issues time and time again all throughout their life. And I always thought, oh, it's just me, I just child prodigy and such. I thought it was probably just, well, I don't know. But it's just when you see that people come up against the same problems, that maybe that's something that as a group, as a community, that if we were to throw out there that having that level of ability does have those problems, maybe that might be some way towards the wider world understanding what it is to have a higher cognitive ability, which I think is key, not so much for us and how we understand the world, but more for how the world understands us. And I think I think maybe there's something to that. I'm not entirely sure whether or not as a group or as a society, whether that's something that we should punt towards. But I think it would certainly be helpful to have that discussion.